It's led to more than 30 arrests in the last week, and more are expected. Authorities say it's a blow to the Blood Family Mafia, a street gang believed to be behind a string of violent.
Top of their list is Dave Pic-Turmel, suspected leader of the Blood Family Mafia, BFM, a gang in Quebec fighting a battle against the Hells Angels for the control of the drug trade.
In the neon-lit shadows of Canada's underworld, one name has cast a long, menacing shadow for decades: the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club. Since planting their flag in 1977, they've ruled with an iron fist, their skull and wings emblem a symbol of terror. Law enforcement calls them Canada's most formidable criminal empire, a machine fueled by fear, extortion, and unrelenting violence. Any gang daring to operate in their domain faces a grim ultimatum: pay a 10% tax on all profits or meet a brutal end. But now, a new breed of outlaws, young, ruthless, and inspired by the savage tactics of Mexican cartels, has risen to challenge their reign. The result? A bloody war that's tearing Canada's streets apart, with bodies piling up, and the underworld's balance of power hanging by a thread. The Angels rise to power. The Hells Angels didn't just seize control, they carved it out with blood and bullets. In 1977, they stormed into Montreal, absorbing the Popeyes Club and setting the stage for a criminal dynasty. Over 2 decades, they spread like wildfire across Canada, their philosophy as simple as it was deadly. An ex-angel turned informant laid it bare: we eliminate the competition. If they don't play ball, we make them disappear. Others learn fast. This brutal mantra crushed rivals, cemented their dominance, and turned Canada's drug trade into their personal fiefdom. By the 1990s, the Angels were untouchable, or so they thought. The Quebec Biker War, a blood-soaked rebellion. In 1994, Quebec's underworld ignited. The Rock Machine, a rival motorcycle club, forged a desperate alliance with independent gangs, street crews, and rogue dealers. Alone, they were no match for the Angels' might, but together, they dared to defy the kings. What followed was the deadliest biker war in history, an 8-year slaughter that turned Quebec's streets into a killing field. Bullets flew, bombs exploded, and 162 lives were snuffed out in a relentless struggle for supremacy. The Angels fought with savage precision, their war machine grinding down the coalition. By 2002, the Rock Machine and their allies were broken, their rebellion crushed. The Angels emerged victorious, their grip on Quebec's drug trade absolute. Every dealer, from street corner hustlers to high-rolling traffickers, paid the Angels 10% tax or faced annihilation. But victory came at a cost. The war exposed their ruthlessness, drawing the unrelenting gaze of law enforcement. Raids swept through their ranks, and in 2009, Quebec authorities seized their clubhouses, including the infamous Sherbrooke Bunker, site of the brutal Lennoxville massacre. By 2021, those strongholds were reduced to rubble, a symbolic blow to the Angels' empire. Yet, even under siege, the Angels' legend endured. Few dared to challenge them, and those who did paid dearly. In 2016, 2 Ontario bikers tried dealing drugs in Quebec without permission. The response was swift. Both were shot, left bleeding as a warning to others. In 2019, Montreal dealer Francis Turon made a fatal mistake, refusing the 10% tax. His body, riddled with bullets, was found outside his home, a grim reminder of the Angels' reach. A new threat rises. The Angels learned from the biker war. Open warfare was bad for business. They adapted, outsourcing their dirty work to street gangs and dipping into legitimate ventures like real estate and bars. In Quebec City, they began renting out territory for a steep $40,000 monthly fee, letting local dealers operate while skimming profits. This hands-off approach kept the cash flowing and the heat off until it backfired. By empowering local gangs, the Angels inadvertently created monsters. These crews built their own networks, grew bold, and began questioning the 10% tax. Enter the Blood Family Mafia, BFM, a rising force in Quebec City led by a young, charismatic, and dangerously ambitious figure, Dave Turrell. Born in 1996 to a respectable family, Turrell could have walked a straight path. Instead, he chose the shadows. At 18, he stabbed 2 men in a drunken brawl at a concert, earning a 3-year prison stint. Released in 2017, he dove headfirst into the drug trade, building a sprawling narcotics empire with supply lines tied to Mata Polaire, a Hells Angels insider whose father helped found the club's first Quebec chapter. Terrell's operation exploded, making him a kingpin in Quebec City. But ambition bred defiance. By 2012, the BFM, under Terrell's command, openly refused to pay the Angels tax, sparking a rebellion that would plunge the underworld into chaos. The Blood Family Mafia's Defiance. Terrell was no ordinary thug. Charismatic and cunning, he rallied the BFM into a force to be reckoned with. In 2019, his defiance landed him back in prison after police caught him with a loaded handgun. Released in 2020, he doubled down, forging an alliance with Montreal's Profit Boys, a gang as ruthless as they were fearless. Together, they declared war on the Angels' tax, setting the stage for a bloody showdown. By January 2023, Terrell's rebellion escalated. Discovering a GPS tracker on his car, likely planted by the Angels, he fled to Europe, plotting his next move. On March 7th, the Angels felt his wrath. A member named Peter woke to his home being sprayed with bullets. Over the next months, businesses linked to the Angels, a vape shop, an erotic massage parlor, went up in flames. The BFM was sending a message. They weren't just defying the Angels, they were hunting them. The violence crescendoed on July 15, 2023, when Michel Gahn, a notorious Angels associate and tax collector, was found dead outside his Quebec City home, his body torn apart by gunfire. The BFM claimed responsibility, their audacity shaking the Angels' foundation. Desperate to avoid another all-out war, the Angels sent Mario Banana Auger, a silver-tongued enforcer, to Europe to negotiate. Their offer? Exclusive drug rights in Quebec City's Limoux district, the city's most lucrative turf. Terrell's response was a cold rejection, telling Auger to catch the first flight back. The Underworld Erupts. Terrell's defiance unleashed a storm. On February 19, 2024, a chilling video surfaced in Montreal. BFM members tortured 2 Angels associates, severing one's ear and taunting, "This is for Mario Banana." The same day, 3 more associates were kidnapped, taken to a remote farm in Saint-Malise, 50 miles south of Quebec City. There, they endured hours of torture, until one broke free, stabbed a sleeping captor, and fled into the night.
There were 2 very violent incidents. One was at this home south of Quebec City. 3 men with links to the Hells Angels were kidnapped and tortured, escaped, killed the captor who was watching him, went to a nearby home to call police.
The violence didn't stop. Days later, another Angels associate was snatched in Saguenay, tortured and dumped in Montreal, missing a finger and toe. He refused to talk to police, his mutilated body a testament to the BFM's brutality. The Angels' empire was cracking, and their Quebec City chapter faced heat from other chapters, who demanded they crush the rebellion or face intervention. In a desperate bid to stem the tide, the Quebec City Angels allegedly tipped off police through back channels. On March 1, 2024, authorities launched a province-wide sweep, arresting 35 BFM members. Rubens Denise, Terrell's right-hand man, was nabbed in Portugal.
The crackdown on organized crime in Quebec has led to more than 30 arrests in the last week, and more are expected. Authorities say it's a blow to the Blood Family Mafia, a street gang believed to be behind a string of violent...
But Terrell himself vanished, a ghost in the underworld. His next move, a mystery. The Fragile Truce. Today, an uneasy calm blankets Quebec's streets. The arrests have slowed the bloodshed, but the war is far from over. Dave Terrell remains at large, a specter haunting the Angels' empire. The BFM's rebellion has exposed cracks in the Angels' armor, proving that even the mightiest can bleed. In the dark alleys of Quebec, power shifts with every bullet, and vengeance lurks around every corner. The Hells Angels' legacy is a saga of dominance, betrayal, and unrelenting ambition. As the underworld holds its breath, one question burns. Can the Angels reclaim their throne, or will Terrell's rebellion topple the kings? The battle for Canada's criminal crown rages on, a deadly dance of power and blood. Stay tuned for the next chapter in this gripping tale of crime and retribution. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell never to miss an update on the Underworld's darkest battles.